Did you know you could write an essay with flawless grammar, like perfect spelling, and still completely fail to hit an IELTS band 7?
Yeah, it happens all the time.
It really does. It's a frustrating reality for so many people who are just stuck at a 6 or a 6.5.
Yeah.
You feel like you're doing everything right, but you're hitting this invisible ceiling.
Exactly.
So today we're doing an exploration into the source material. We're unpacking what we call the hidden playbook. We're moving past just learning more English to focus on the specific communicative behaviors examiners actually reward.
Right, because it really is a behavioral game.
That's my question. Is it really a language test? Or is it more of a game where knowing the rules is just as important as knowing the words?
I mean, it's totally a behavioral game. Most people think they just need more big words. But that jump to band 7, it's about how you use what you already know.
Okay, so it's not just about vocabulary.
No, not at all. There are 4 pillars, right? Task response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, and grammatical range.
And they're all equal.
Completely equal. So you might have perfect grammar, but if your coherence and cohesion, like your logical flow and how you link ideas, if that's weak, you're just stuck.
Wait, I have to push back there a little.
Sure.
Because if my English is perfect, why does the flow matter so much? It honestly feels like the examiners are acting like bot hunters instead of language teachers.
Oh, I love that. Bot hunters. That's a great way to put it. Because they actually are trained to spot that kind of robotic output.
Like a memorized templates.
Yes. When you use those memorized templates, like some people believe X while others disagree. Examiners see a massive red flag.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, they look for a mismatch. If your template sounds like a band 9, but your actual original thoughts are clearly a band 6, they will actually dock your lexical resource score for memorized content.
So they want to see you, not a script.
Exactly.
Well, if templates are a trap, what is the actual master key here? Is there one skill that unlocks the whole test?
Paraphrasing, without a doubt.
Paraphrasing.
Yeah, think of the entire IELTS as a giant game of find the synonym.
Okay, how so?
Well, in listening and reading, the test makers intentionally put the exact keyword from the question into the text as bait.
So if the question asks about, say, local businesses, and I hear local businesses,
it's almost always a trap. The real answer is usually hidden behind a paraphrase, like neighborhood shops.
Oh, I see. So if I'm just scanning for the exact word, I'm walking right into it.
You are.
But how do I use this in speaking? I mean, I can't exactly pause for 10 seconds to hunt for a synonym while I'm talking to a real person.
Right, you definitely can't do that. But it's about a really simple trick we call the because extension.
The because extension. Okay, what is that?
Basically, for every single opinion you give, you force yourself to add the word because and then explain it.
Just to give a reason.
Well, yes, but mechanically, it forces you to use subordinate clauses, and that right there is how you demonstrate the grammatical range needed for band 7, almost without thinking about it.
Oh, that makes total sense. You're showing you can sustain a complex thought organically.
Exactly.
But what about writing task 2?
Yeah.
Because everyone always says, you need 4 or 5 strong arguments to get a high score.
That is actually one of the biggest myths out there.
Really?
Yeah. For band 7, you need depth, not breadth. 2 deep arguments will beat 4 shallow ones every single time.
Wow. So how do we structure that depth?
We use the 3-part paragraph. You start with a topic sentence, you give a clear explanation of why it's true, and then, this is a key, you give a concrete example.
Because if you don't explain the why, you hit that task response ceiling.
Right. You're leaving the examiner to connect the dots, and they hate doing the work for you.
Makes sense. It sounds like we need to be way more strategic about how we spend our time in general. I mean, I've heard people say you should actually do writing task 2 first. That a real strategy or just like an exam hack?
No, it's smart execution. Task 2 is worth double the points of task 1. So why tackle it when your brain is completely exhausted? And the same goes for reading. You have to stop careful reading. You just don't have time to understand every single word.
So you're hunting for meaning, not, reading a novel.
Precisely.
Okay, so when we're practicing at home, what's the move? Because honestly, taking 50 practice tests in a row sounds like a recipe for total burnout.
Oh, it's a massive trap. If you just take test after test, you're only measuring your current level. You aren't raising it.
So what should we do instead?
You need an analysis framework. Test, analyze, find the root cause, and then do targeted practice.
Give me an example of finding a root cause.
Sure. So if you get a listening question wrong, you need to know why. Was it a decoding error, meaning you heard the sound but just didn't recognize the word? Or was it a vocabulary gap where you didn't know the word at all?
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Because if it's decoding, you need more audio immersion. But if it's a vocab gap, you just need to read more.
Exactly. You have to fix the actual root cause. Recording your own speaking practice is also huge for this. It's the fastest way to spot fluency gaps you literally can't hear in real time.
That is amazing advice. So really, Breaking Band 7 is a 5-pillar pyramid. We've got scoring awareness, mastering the synonym game, structuring your depth, executing with strategy, and then that targeted analysis.
Yeah, that sums it up perfectly.
It really isn't about being a walking dictionary. It's about being a communicator who understands the rules of the room. So listeners, since examiners are constantly on the hunt for rehearsed content, I want to leave you with this to think about. How can you practice being predictably spontaneous so that your absolute best English feels like a natural conversation rather than a memorized recital?